Welcome, everyone. I'm Katie.
And I'm Connor.
And we are hanging out today to exchange a couple of pieces of inspiration, some videos that are out in the world that we really love, and talk about them together.
Looking forward to it. Let's do it.
Connor, show me what you got.
So Katie, what I brought today, we've talked about them before, but Vibe Studios is a Mumbai-based animation studio. Their biggest piece that they've got out there right now is a series called Lamput. And I've told you the story about Lamput before, where it's a show that they're doing for Cartoon Network starring essentially the Nickelodeon Splat. They pitched it to Nickelodeon, and Nickelodeon did not take them up on it, much to their chagrin, because it is now like a worldwide sensation. But before that, they have had a good relationship with Nick. They did a lot of idents and stuff for them to play in between the shows, and this is just one of them that I've shared. So this one is called Cricket.
So good. I love it. I love it instantly. I love a paper cut animation or anything that, lives in the stop motion realm. I think we have a lot of that on the team. We're drawn to kind of like a tactile experience since we're in the digital sphere so often. So this really appeals to me. And I just think when you strip away kind of like high production expectations and you just can really capture that human hand, it always comes out as more and more charming, and like this is a fantastic example of that.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Like when you kind of like latch onto that piece about like this kind of handmade sort of stripped back quality, there's not even too many characters. It's like playing a really classic sort of silent comedy gag of just like a heavy versus a light. When you take away all of the extra production value, like you don't have much room to hide behind anything, so it has to be really good. I mean, my favorite moment has got to be the reaction of the heavy as he's watching the ball go up and he's done a little folded paper piece.
Yeah, I was gonna say that same thing. I was gonna say the moment at 19 where, they weren't put off by the fact that they had limited themselves to this paper silhouette and they didn't know how they were going to get a big enough expression. They really leaned into how can we use a fold and how can we use an extend. Like, it's just so creative and so charming. Best moment for sure. So I have brought a City Island episode to share, and this is a new digital short series on PBS Kids. It's by Augenblick Studios' children's media division, which is Future Brain Media, and it's just so charming, and I'm not going to say much more than that. We can watch the episode and then dive into it afterwards.
Yeah, we'll make it right on City Island.
Next up, Circus Beach!
Did you hear that, Dad? I can't wait!
Neither can I, What? Circus Beach was my favorite place as a kid. And today is the 100-year anniversary party.
Were you there 100 years ago, Mr. Light?
I'm not that old, Wendy, but it has been a while since I visited.
On your dinosaur? I'm gonna ride the haunted ship.
I want to jump on Bouncy Castle.
And we're all gonna go on the world-famous Wanda Wheel.
Welcome to Circus Beach! Stand clear of my closing doors, please!
Oh, Circus Beach is so fun and clean and beautiful. I can't wait for you to see it.
Not our best work, fellas. Take 5.
It's dirty.
Everything's broken.
And it stinks?
Yep, took them 100 years, but they finally got it right.
The Trayte, what are you doing here?
Parties are my bag. Nothing gets messy like a party.
Where's all the fun and merriment? Ew.
I know, ain't it great? Oh, the sludge really makes a bag feel welcome.
Well, I think it's gross. What are we gonna do?
I don't know, but you'd better do it fast.
It's Wonder Wheel!
That's right. It's me, the world-famous Wonder Wheel. Well, I used to be. Now I'm pretty down in the dumps.
You say that like it's a bad thing.
What's wrong, Wanda?
Circus Beach is all dirty and broken. Over the years, the salty air and the cold winters have damaged the park. I can't figure out what to do.
What have you tried?
Well, we waited around for the problem to go away on its own and, complained about how bad it is. I think that's pretty much it. Has anyone tried cleaning up the area and preparing the attractions? Well, when you put it that way, it sounds so simple, huh?
It is. If we all work together, we could get the park fixed up in no time. And then it'll look just like how my dad remembers it from the dinosaur days.
Hey,
Look, those kids are cleaning up. They're giving Circus Beach an extra life.
That's the ticket.
it's right up my alley. Let's join them.
Wow, it looks great! Hey, Wanda, can we get a ride to celebrate?
Of course! Thanks for fixing up the park, kids. Because of you, City Islanders will be enjoying Circus Beach for another 100 years. Ooh, you can see all of Circus Beach from up here.
Isn't it beautiful, Dad?
It really is, Wat.
I gotta admit, it looks pretty nice. I hate nice.
I've been so excited to see like what that show, because I've only seen like the stills for it when they first announced it, and seeing like how it's all coming together, and it's so natural.
Yeah, I feel like you get a really strong sense that this production wasn't forced, like they weren't trying to shoehorn different things in, and then they came out with like a camel that resembled like a lot of different requests for him inside on the production team. It does feel really natural, and like it's kept true to a singular vision, which I was really excited about and I was eager to talk about with you. They're really trying to be intentional about providing a new format of content for kids who are watching on tablets or, maybe in a different digital medium.
One and the other part like that short format does, it helps to, it helps the lights. It shines a light on what it's trying to say, like what the goal of the episode is a lot more clearly. I think that, especially when you get into those longer format, the issue that you kind of run into is how do I balance these sort of character aspects and like sneak in some of these other things? Like how do we kind of like draw out the situation? And I think that you'd end up jumping through so many different hoops in terms of like getting into the world. Like you just need to believe that these characters exist and that you're going to tag along with them and you want to go in there with them. And then the characters they run into, like Trayte is...
Trayte is my favorite. I love this just like grungy, snarky character. I love that getting to having like a vast representation of personalities that I identify with in this show. I want to see more from Trayte the floating bag. I want to know more about him.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. There's other like little details about like structuring this episode too that I really like. The using public transit at the beginning. One, it's just such a non, like you don't think about it at all when you like live in a big city like New York or like Chicago or something like that. It's such a natural part of the everyday, and kind of placing that as like your opening and getting a chance to see like the city going by, it kind of helps get you excited about it because you're already in there, and getting like the little pop of joy when he says, "Stand clear of my closing doors, please."
I love that so much. I was like, that's just another great example of taking that reality and replicating it, but in the hand of the show. I think the other reason why I was excited to share it with you in particular, so Connor brought this great insight to the team not too long ago about finding sources of inspiration. Aaron Augenblick is from what it seems like, a longtime New York City resident. And I love this kind of imaginative interpretation of his surroundings. It's really authentic because he loves his city and kind of is taking the personality from around him and turning it into something new and different and accessible for a wider audience.
The love for the space is definitely there, and it's also, it feels, I think, part of the mission of the show is this kind of like civics like education, this kind of idea of like what you can do to make your community stronger.
Very well done, Future Brain Media. We're big fans. So thanks, Connor, for sharing that great video with me. I loved watching it together.
Well, thanks, Katie. I loved watching City Island. Can't wait to watch more.
Well, thank you all for joining us, and we'll see you next time.